This is Your City in Action here on Community Access TV. Another fun episode. I'm your host, Todd Pittenger, the news director for KSAL Radio here in Salina, joined by Vanessa Cowie, the Animal Services Manager from the Salina Animal Shelter. Vanessa, second time you've been on the show with us. It must not have went too bad the first time because you're back. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Lots happening at the Salina Animal Shelter, so that's why we asked you to come back. First and foremost, let's talk about Barclay Park. I know that just a couple of months old. It opened, I think, was it late August, early September, right around that area?
Yep, right around
Tell me about Barclay Park and how has that been received by the community?
Barclay Park, and I got to say, I'm sorry the way I pronounced that. Barclay Park, get it out there.
In the amount of full disclosure, she's an Aussie. She's from Australia.
I'm down under.
English is your first language or second language? The Queen's
first.
English is yours, right?
It's the Queen's English, yeah. It sounds ridiculous when I say certain words, so I apologize for that. I chose the name Barclay Park, actually.
It's a great name. It's a perfect name for a dog park.
We put it out there and saw how people adapted to it, and it took off, you know, because of Barclay Road.
Right.
So we wanted to hint at that. It has been used phenomenally.
And you said Barclay Road, so first of all, tell people exactly where it is on Barclay Road.
Okay, south of Dean Evans.
Right,
on
right up there by the
Barclay
ball
Road.
fields.
Yeah, by that big water tower.
Yeah.
If you can see the water tower, you're in the right direction. And south down there on the south end of that airstrip. It's 2 acres, separated into 3. We have the north one closed right now. We decided to irrigate and sprig the north lot, and that takes a longer time to get grass established. It will eventually be the most durable pod of all 3, but it takes a long time to get it going. If we had have done that to all 3, not only is it a little bit pricey, we would be waiting a really long time to open. So that's why that third one's closed. There will always be one closed because, as you'll see, the usage out there is extreme.
Right.
The grass is really taking a hit.
I will tell you, we have a new sports director at the radio station. He stumbled upon it. He's got a pup, a beautiful pup by the name of Gordo. He takes Gordo out there every weekend. He is blown away by it. There's even, what the first thing he told me, they've got drinking fountains for the dogs out there.
And it's funny, there's no drinking fountains for humans out there. I like dogs better than I like people,
Right.
let's admit that. But the drinking fountains actually are closed. They're shut off during the winter months. So we
For
have just
reasons, because you don't want the pipes to freeze up.
Right, the pipes will freeze and they'll break. So we do have those closed right now. So there's no water available right now, but those are fun. Some dogs don't take to them.
Right.
So you may have to bring a little dish with you if your dog is a little bit afraid of the splashing. But it's a really fun place. And I gotta say, I haven't been there much when it's empty.
Right.
I really haven't been there when there's no one there. We just got lights installed. They're solar powered because we don't have electricity out there, so we're being a little bit creative.
Right, and you're being environmentally friendly.
Yeah, solar powered lights, and the light is really good. It's got a lot of reach out
What
there.
are the hours of it?
It's only closed from midnight to 5 a.m.
Okay, so basically similar to other park rules in Salina, right?
Yeah, it falls under the same curfew as ECRA, as that whole East Crawford area. Which wouldn't be safe to be out there much later.
I agree.
Yeah.
So how does it work? You go in there, you go in the gates, you take the dog and let it run, or what? Yeah.
There's double gates, so make sure you close every gate you go through. Those are there for the safety of the dogs. We're having a few people not put leashes on their dogs going up to the park. You know, not only can you face a citation for that, it's dangerous.
Because the Barclay Road is a busy road with
there.
vehicles zipping by. I don't think you want a dog out there unleashed.
Yeah, and it's really important that we have a lot of positive experiences with this space,
Right.
And that we really take care of it, and that we're really responsible with it because, you know, I want more.
Oh, absolutely, and you know, that's a great location for it. I know you'd considered Jerry Ivy Park, you'd considered Indian Rock Park, and you ended up out at the East Crawford Recreation Area. I think there's not a lot of homes out there in the area. The golf course is in the area. There's some homes, but none of that are really, really close. So I think that's a great area for it, and there's a little bit of room for expansion out there, right?
There's a little bit of room for expansion, and I think maybe the next park wouldn't be quite so manicured. I
Right.
like the idea of a little bit of terrain.
Sure, yeah.
You know, a little bit less flat,
Right.
a little bit more interesting. Dogs just love all the, you know, textures and sights and sounds and smells.
Yes.
And so if we're really looking for canine enrichment, you know, maybe it needs to be less about the humans.
And
little
more
bit more
about
about the
a
dogs.
woodsy kind of thing, right? An outdoorsy kind of thing.
Maybe with some trail access. It's a fun project.
Yes.
You know, it's been 2 years in the making. We ended up raising a little over $80,000 to fund it, so we would need about that again. And we're also looking at irrigating some more of it, adding some shade structures, some agility equipment, some picnic tables. Yeah, it's really fun.
Again, we're talking to Vanessa Cowie, the Animal Services Manager for the Salina Animal Shelter. You mentioned you raised a lot of money, you raised a portion of the funding for the dog park. You've done a good job at raising money, getting grants, getting that sort of thing. Tell me about some of the grants you've gotten and some of the things you've done with them. You've made some great improvements at the animal shelter.
You know, the support of these big foundations is extreme. You know, as far as Greater Salina Community Foundation, the Petco Foundation, PetSmart Charities, there's a lot of these big foundations that really will invest in somewhere small like this.
Right.
And it just takes asking. My mom says that I've always been good at asking for money. Thanks, Mom. And so you just got to ask the right person and not.
And you
got
to tell them what you're going to use it for, right?
You got to be really responsible when you do get the funding. And they want to see a return for their investment. They want to know what you're going to use it for, and they want to see you really go through with it. And they want to see it do things like raise the number of live outcomes from your facility, improve quality of life for sheltered animals, improve animal welfare in your community, and just raise the standard of care for animals. And so if you can prove that what you're going to do is going to result in that, and then show those results, and then you're going to see a lot of support from these foundations, and that's exactly what's happened in Salina.
I think it was last spring I went and took a tour, and you were just getting ready to put some new kennels in. You were going to cover the floor too. Tell me about that. And that floor was going to be helped for sanitary reasons too, I think, wasn't it? Tell me about those improvements.
Yeah, the floor is an epoxy flake that we've installed, and actually we had some problems with it. It was a little bit defective, but we've got it repaired.
Good.
So in full disclosure, it's closed right now. They are fixing it, but the product is really what we want. We had some areas where it was lifting, but they are going to fix that. Stainless steel kennels with glass fronts now. It's better for the dogs. It's better for people. It's better for noise, better for disease transfer. And I don't know if you should go in there again when it's been redone.
Okay. I will. I'll take you up on that.
The aesthetics, it changes the whole environment. You know, the last thing I want to hear people say is dog pound.
Right. Yes,
well,
that's right.
If you dress
You're not
up
a dog
as a dog
catcher,
pound,
and it's not the dog pound, right?
But if you look like a dog pound, people are going to say it's a dog pound. So we are an animal shelter. You know, it's the positive side of what we do. And so changing the environment in there really has helped for adoptions. It's really, people bring their kids in, you know, bring your family in, and by all means, if you just want to come in and visit, just do that. You don't have to adopt. You don't have to donate or volunteer. Just walk in and say hi. And if you just want to hang out with the dogs or the cats, you become a volunteer. You can walk them, you can pet them, you can show them love, you can feed them. Yep, it's easy. It's great. It's a great way to give back. Now you're working on another grant. Can we talk about that? Yeah. So you know, I've had all this success with grant writing, and so you know, I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag, so to speak, right? Well, it's going to be cat themed. Here the dogs are sitting in their plush penthouses, and the cats are over there like, well, when are we going to get new digs? Yeah. So they're looking around, and a couple of things we noticed on the dog side, and changing things like going to stainless steel. Implementing glass, any surface that's easier to clean is going to result in a better environment for these cats. We're looking at things that stress cats. If we can eliminate all those stress factors, they're happier, they're healthier, they're more adoptable. So it sounds like, you know, that, oh, we're just kind of crazy cat lovers. Right, yeah. Like, you're just a crazy cat lady, aren't you? Well, it's good for business to be a crazy cat lover because it makes the cats more adoptable. Right. So it's not just that I love cats, but I really do love cats. But it shortens their length of stay. So this new grant is to remodel the cat room. We're going to be putting in an intake room and then changing our kennels completely. They're going to be custom designed by myself. I have a problem with seams. You know, I'm trying to eliminate seams, so we're going to laser welded stainless steel. The powder coat is not holding up. Cat urine is one of the strongest chemicals in the world, apparently, and it can degrade almost anything. So we're going into stainless steel. We're implementing as much glass as we can. We're putting in a little bit more cabinetry. We're going to invest in some flat screen TVs, not just for educational purposes. We're going to be playing a loop on cat ownership over there, but also we have cat TV. And the cats love watching the squirrels and the birds and the mice. And it keeps their brains working. So you know, it's great. This is totally off topic, but when we had our little dog who we lost several months ago, but whenever we would leave, we'd always leave the radio on for her. Yes. Is that just us being crazy dog people, or do you recommend things like that? Oh, yeah, we do. We recommend things like that because it reduces the stress levels for a variety of reasons. You know, they probably can't speak human, and they probably don't even care about the weather in Wichita. But it drowns out background noises, and that silence factor can
Right.
be a little bit stressful.
Right.
So if there's background noise, you want to cover that up. If there's no background noise, then that's even worse. So with dogs especially, we try and drown out the barking from the other
Right.
rooms. Yeah, and the cats don't want to sit there and listen to dogs bark.
Tell me about the numbers you have. Obviously, you've got too many animals there. You'd like all of them all to be adopted. And I do want to give you kudos. Since you became the animal services manager, you turn it into a no-kill shelter.
Right.
But you've got to keep getting those animals adopted to be a no-kill shelter. Tell me about the numbers and about the animals that get dropped off. Are they strays that you're getting? Are they people that just can't handle their pets anymore? Tell me about that, too.
Well, we get about 3,500 animals a year. That's a number that people kind of
That's
balk
a
at.
huge number, yes.
3,500.
Huge.
Yeah, in our little building.
Right.
And we work hard to get them homes, and we do. It's interesting that that's split almost 50-50 dogs and cats.
Okay.
So we get about 1,200 of each, and the remaining is wildlife. Dogs have a much higher reclaim rate than cats.
Right.
And so about 70% of our dogs get claimed in the first 48 hours.
Right.
About 10% of our cats get claimed over
How
a much
do the
longer
rules,
time.
how long do you have to have an animal before it can get reclaimed or adopted, whatever you want to call it?
In Kansas, it must be in our facility for 3 full business days.
Okay.
So that doesn't include the day you get it. It doesn't include holidays or Sundays, and
Right.
it doesn't include that final day when it becomes property of
Right.
the city. So during that time, it's called a stray hold. We can't do invasive medical procedures. We
Right.
can't spay and neuter. We can't draw blood. We can't do we can't put it up for adoption. We can't let it interact with other animals. We can't let potential adopters see it. It's this limbo period,
Right.
which, when you count public holidays and Sundays, could be a week
Yeah.
where it just sits in that kennel.
And all you can do is feed it.
All you can do is feed it and keep it safe and keep it well. So it's a little bit frustrating that we're held with this stray hold
Right.
period. There's a reason. Obviously, we can't adopt out other people's pets.
Correct, yes.
But if the studies show that this percentage are getting claimed and they're getting claimed this soon, then there's a lot of animals that are
Right.
probably were never strays.
Right. Correct, yes. And let's talk about that. That's a little bit of a controversial thing out there right now, isn't it?
It is.
People who are dropping off their animals, telling you, you know what, this is a stray, where it's really not a stray. And for some reason, they just don't want to fess up, so to speak, I guess, I
Yeah.
don't know. Or just say, you know what, I can't take care of my pet anymore, so I'm leaving it with you.
Right.
You would just prefer that, you know what, just be honest with you. I'm not going to judge you.
No.
Just be honest with me. That
Yeah.
way, it really helps up the process and it's better for the pet, right?
It is. So when you think about how many our owners surrendered, it's about 1,000 animals a year are surrendered voluntarily, signed over to the city. And those animals have a shorter length of stay,
Right.
and we can learn more about them at the time of surrender. It's actually easier on us if it's your pet.
Yes.
It's easier on the facility.
Right.
It's better on your animal. It's in the best interest of every sheltered animal that if it is your pet, please tell us about
Right.
it. You know, there is a very low fee to surrender. It's $2. We do waive that when people are unable to pay because we don't want you to dump it.
Sure, absolutely.
You know, we don't want to find kittens in boxes. We are encouraging you to give it to us. We are the best place for that pet.
And if it comes in as a stray, you have to do the spay or neuter, right?
We have
and
to
if,
do the spay neuter.
say my dog has already been spayed or neutered, right?
Neuter, we can normally tell.
Yes, yeah.
There's something missing.
Right. but if say it has, and I bring it in, and I don't want, maybe I'm ashamed, I don't know, but and I tell you it's a stray, well, my poor little dog is going to have to go under the knife again because I haven't been forthright with you, right?
Yeah, so we're going to spay dogs, and we've done this a lot. We spay dogs and cats that have already been spayed. And it's horrible for them to go through
It's an
that again.
unnecessary surgery.
It is unnecessary, and it puts the pet at risk. It's a waste of our resources because sometimes we're paying for these surgeries, sometimes we're not. But either way, you know, don't do something that doesn't need to be done.
Right.
So, you know, you can think that there are 1,000 other people a year that are in your position that can't take care of their
Right.
pet. That's what we're funded for.
That's right.
That's our purpose.
It's your tax-paying dollar at work, right?
It is. So you've paid your taxes
Yes.
to pay for this service. So if you really can't take care of your pet, please bring it to us.
Yes, and then that's better than letting it go somewhere too,
Yeah,
right?
letting
Don't let
it
it
go.
become a stray. And I would say, in my mind, that's doing the right thing. If
It
you just
is.
absolutely can't take care of your pet anymore, give it to someone like you who loves it, who will find a good home for it, right?
Yeah, and make it as easy on us as you can. Another problem is surrendering a pet maybe the Wednesday before Thanksgiving
Right,
because we can't do anything with it until Monday.
right.
And so there are a lot of pets that run loose over Thanksgiving weekend, and sometimes our kennels are full with surrenders. So call ahead. say, you know, I am going to have to move out of my apartment in a couple of weeks. I'm looking into my options. And we say, absolutely bring it to us, but, you know, Tuesdays are a good day.
Right.
You know, or we're having our floors redone. Can you bring it in next Monday?
Right.
We're going to work with you. We want your pet.
Right.
But we really need the community to work with us, make the best use of our resources so that we can provide as many live outcomes as we can.
All right, final thing I'm going to talk about. I want to talk about volunteers again. I can't talk about it enough with you, at least in my mind, because I know your staff is tiny. You don't have a huge budget. With all of these things you do, having to be open 24/7, not open, but have animals there 24/7. You mentioned Thanksgiving holiday, that long holiday. You've got to have people in and out of that building taking care of those pets. You can't do it with a good group without the help of a lot of volunteers, right?
The volunteers are amazing. They've started up a financial assistance program. They're helping spay and neuter local pets. They have a pet food bank. They do fundraisers all year long. They're doing a wish tree at Petco. They maintain all of our cat kennels at Petco. They walk dogs, bathe dogs. They take photos. They write little bios about the pets.
They probably help you with your Facebook page and that sort of thing,
They help us
right?
with marketing. They help us with everything. They sew. They're incredible. And they are people that come in that they're not all the same.
Right.
They're all good at different things.
They're not all crazy animal people, so to speak, right?
I hope they are.
Right.
Then they're just like me.
Right.
But there really is something for everyone there.
Right.
And I think that, you know, whatever your passion is,
Right.
we can make the most of that.
Right.
We have a little niche that we need you to fill.
Right.
So come on in and meet us and meet the other volunteers because it's just a fun place to be.
It is.
Really
And you mentioned
is.
it's not just dogs and cats there, is it?
No,
you
there's
never
a lot
know
of
what's going to come.
wildlife.
Just like that pawn shop show, you never know what's going to come through that door, right?
Come through that door. Little baby deer, yeah, a lot of little orphan babies, and there's actually a lot of transport assistance that volunteers, we have them drive pets to other facilities.
Oh, okay.
We network with rescues in Nebraska. We have little wildlife rehabilitators that we work with.
Right.
So little baby raccoons that need to be driven around. We reimburse your gas, but we need someone behind the wheel who's willing to do that. So there's so many things you can help with, and I really just want people to realize how fun it is, how rewarding it is, and how much of a difference you can make.
Vanessa Cowie, Animal Services Manager from the Salina Animal Shelter. Keep up the good work. We'll have you on this show again here in the near future, okay?
Thanks so much.
Again, this is Your City in Action on Community Access TV. We thank you for joining us.